Fucking intro, man. I can't do a proper intro, so I'm just gonna have some pretty flutes come in, some birds fly around, some glitter fall, and I'd be nailing it, right? But, oh well. What you need to start realizing is that nobody can take you outside of your head. Nobody can take your consciousness away from your consciousness. You occupy your vessel. Your vessel is a temple, it is your church. You don't need to be going to an exterior church. But the thing about the churches was, when they were originally made, they were made by people like the Knights of the Templar. And Freemasonry was not such a bad thing when it started anyhow. And it's not really a bad thing if you use it properly anyways, because it's just a way to obtain information. I wouldn't recommend joining any societies because that's putting definitions upon you. It's putting you in a box. It's limiting who you are because you have to define what you are at that point, and you're not allowed to speak your mind because you have to uphold certain secrets that they hand down to you. So with churches originally being made by the Knights of the Templar, their main goal with all the structures and the way that it's done is to actually have the geometries into a way that when you're in a church, it's something that sparks consciousness. It's something that sparks consciousness. And that's what we need to start doing to our own houses. We need to be putting certain geometries and certain artworks that allow the energy just to keep flowing. Because there's no such thing as nothing. Everything is an energy. There is space in between me and this screen, but it is occupied by energy. So when you have the conversation of the glass is half full or half empty, it's a lie, because the whole thing is always filled with energy. The whole universe is contained within you as it is contained within that little tiny glass. You can put the universe inside of a thimble. You can do whatever you want to do because nothing does not exist. Everything is everything because everything equates to energy. So I've got certain artists who are currently working on ways to incorporate the flow of energy to get stale and stagnant energies in your house to flow properly. This is going to be like different sculptures, different paintings, all sorts of different artworks and different things that can just keep energy moving, because instead of getting rid of other energies like a lot of modern day feng shui people will tell you to do, they'll tell you to get rid of energies and only pull in positive energy. But what instead I'm going to do is I'm going to be making different arts with these artists that are going to convert your so-called negative energy into usable energy for you. Instead of getting rid of it, I'm just going to be able to convert it into something that works. So that's something to look ahead to. But the thing is, like, nobody can take your consciousness away from your consciousness. It's something that you have the choice to spark. You can at any moment decide to feel into the subtle realm that is around you. There are entities and everything around you. There's many different frequencies and different lights and colors and spectrums that you can experience, but nobody else can experience for you. And the thing is, the way that you see one color is not necessarily going to be the way that I process one color. Color and everything technically that you see, touch, and feel and experience is an illusion, because it is all things that are just sent to your brain and it is decoded and it tells you what it looks like. The image that you actually see is upside down, but your mind flips it and you think that you're looking at something that is right side up. The color yellow doesn't technically exist in your computer screen. There's only reds and blues, but the perfect amount of red and blue, it reacts just like a yellow does, so your mind says it must be yellow, and then you think that it's yellow. It's all these different things that you have to be aware of that allow you to realize that you're living inside of an illusion. So while we're both trained to say that one thing is the way that it is, are we really seeing it the same way? Is my blue the same as your blue? Even, like, we've been trained to say that, yes, that's blue, but is it in fact the same color to us? And when you really start to begin to realize that you have all the time, every single second, every single moment of your life is an opportunity to do something that you haven't done yet. It is an opportunity to try and experience something, to try and learn, to try and better yourself. If you want to become somebody who rhymes and raps all the time, if you want to become somebody who rhymes in poetry or even in a band of any sort, you have all the time in in the fucking world to spend in your head rhyming. Everything that you could do would be to rhyme. So this is just a way to say that you have time to do what you do and it's never too late. There are very, very famous musicians who didn't even start touring until they were 40. So, I mean, time is not the way that it's played out. It's all just the way that you experience it. And that's why you can have moments where you're sitting down and 5 minutes goes by but it felt like it was an hour, or vice versa. It's because it's all just based upon your reaction to it. It's all based upon how it's decoded by your brain, how this filter will filter it for your experience. Because that's all your brain really is. It takes what is real and it filters it to what you're going to accept. Oftentimes if something super unrealistic happens, something that you wouldn't necessarily believe could ever happen, but it really did happen, your brain will filter it out and you'll discard it anyways. And that's why you oftentimes have people watching like telekinetic videos but then commenting like this isn't real, but they can't stop watching telekinetic videos. It's because they know that it's real. And while there are a lot of imposters on the internet and on the streets hustling for money and whatnot, what you have to understand is that your mind is trying to make excuses and it's not allowing you to believe in what you're actually doing. So controlling your mind is something that we need to get to. Realizing that no matter what, you can't be taken from you. You are you, so be you. Utep, Namaste, Ashe, 13 Love.